Hey there, it's Deb Evans. I am the president of Northwest Houston Business Professional Women. And we meet on the third Thursday of every month at Northgate Country Club. February 15th, we have a very special speaker, and I have him here with me today, and it's Austin Tenette. So, Austin, thanks for joining me for this little chat tonight.
Deb, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So I will get into your presentation at Northgate Country Club here in a little bit. But, as a business coach here in the Houston area, and I know for a fact you work with a lot of small business owners because that's how I found you. They told me you got to have Austin to come and speak at our luncheon. And he's great. And I take the word for it. I love it. But I bet you've got some advice that you can give these business owners that there must be one or two opportunities they may not be thinking about or they're missing out on, or pieces of advice that you can give them if they're watching us today.
Yeah, happy to do that. Thanks so much. And so the good news is that the entrepreneurial spirit is alive and well in Houston, and it's unbelievable how things are really thriving in our entrepreneurial community. But if I think about a couple things just to keep on people's radar, and I wish it was horribly complex, but it's not. One thing is two concepts: clarity and persistence, right? So I often find people are just not really clear about what business they're in, what business issues they solve, what pains they eliminate, who their client is, or who their target customer is or should be, and then how do they reach them? And then once you've sort of figured that out, then it's the persistence to keep going down the path to get in front of those folks and have those conversations. Oftentimes we see a lot of entrepreneurs who get sort of distracted by the next new shiny thing. So that persistence that's needed to really go down the path and really, really make something happen, sometimes it gets sort of overlooked and getting hopes of something shiny.
Yeah, well, you were just speaking to me because I get very distracted with shiny things.
Maybe you need a coach.
I need a coach. And I totally agree with you. Even though you or I are coaches and consultants, we still need our own coach. It's just that domino.
Can I give you a little story? I mean, I'm in an organization of coaches, and one of the things that we do, we all have sort of an internal coach, and then because our organization is so large, about 200 coaches globally, we've also formed some formal as well as some informal coaching relationships. So this just for today, for example, I was thinking about joining another trade association, but I said, I've got a guy in the network who kind of knows this space a little bit better than me. So I reached out to him. I said, look, I need your help. Here's what I'm thinking of doing. What would you recommend? What would you suggest? Help me with some blind spots that I might have as I approach this. And it was unbelievable. 15-minute conversation, got great insights. So got to have a good game plan on how to approach this particular organization.
Right. Yeah, very, very good advice. Here in the Houston area, we were hit so hard with Harvey. And so many of the ladies in our organization at BPW and other small businesses and large businesses here in the area, I don't think they were really prepared for something like that. You don't even think about it. It's like, how do you prepare? But how do you respond to, when you're hit so hard by a situation like that? What do you tell your clients?
Yeah, that's a great question, Deb, because in fact, earlier this month, I had done a workshop really on that very similar topic, really how to respond post-Harvey. And I want to take a step back. If you've been, you and I both have been in business for a while. Mm-hmm. Every year it's something else. 1 year it's Harvey, and the next year might be a recession or a downturn in the economy. So, yes, Harvey was unfortunate, but it's not unlike a normal business downturn because the net effect is kind of the same. Sales are off.
Right.
Supply chain's been disrupted, so on and so forth. So in the workshop I led earlier this month, we talked about just sort of how do we respond in general to these catastrophic events, and I think there's really an opportunity, because this is the time where you have the opportunity to rethink your business. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
we talked a little bit earlier about getting clarity. So now it's time to, this is an opportunity to re-clarify your business. So you may have been a product company before, maybe now it's time to pivot and become a service company, right?
Mm.
So as you rethink your business, so it's an opportunity to maybe sell into some different geographies. Maybe it's time to form some different alliances. Maybe now it's time to get that new product off the shelf or update an existing product, because the whole goal as we rethink the business is how do we become more relevant to not only our existing customers, but to potentially new customers, new markets that are out there that hold sort of the keys to our success going forward.
Very good. Great advice. And you mentioned it earlier, you know, having that business coach to help you think through that. You know, one thing I'd like to recommend to others is, you know, your networking opportunities. And you mentioned that as well. There's so many trade associations and networking and, you know, just bouncing those ideas off and sharing your business, you know, and what skills. So with that, I'd like to make sure that, you know, everybody is thinking about coming to our luncheon that will be on February 15th at 11 a.m. at Northgate Country Club. Registration is at www.nwhoustonbpw.com. But we have a lot of folks that have registered already.
Great.
What advice, what should we be thinking about before we come to your presentation? You know, what kind of mindset should we have and be ready to just absorb all that knowledge you're going to share with us that day?
So one of the biggest challenges that we all have as entrepreneurs is, you know, we're sort of slaves to the tyranny of the urgent, right? So the phone rings, the email pops up, that sort of thing. So what I'd like for those participants between now and our session is to be thinking about working on their business as opposed to in their business. Now, you know, for any of us who've been around the entrepreneurial space, you know, that's a Michael Gerber concept, and I just love it. But it's that whole, as we talked about it earlier. But it's still, what are you working on? What's troubling you? Where are your opportunities, right? And have that conversation, like you said, with a coach, a mentor, maybe even read a book on the subject, a webinar, something like that. So I'll give you an example. I was coaching with a client earlier this week, and this individual has some unbelievable opportunities in front of him. But guess where he was spending all of his time? You know, a problem employee, a problem relationship. So all of this tactical stuff, which we know you have to do, but he just wasn't really grasping the greater opportunities out there that were going to literally propel his business into, have it take off in the next 4 to 5 years. So I would really like the folks that are planning to attend to be thinking about, what are my opportunities? And really spend some time on it, because in this one last point, in the workshop I was leading, talking about post Harvey, I do all these little straw polls in the context of our workshop, and I said, how many people regularly take a step back and assess what they've done, what they've accomplished, and that sort of. So just a few hands went up, right? Then I said, okay, so for those of you who do assess periodically, how many of you write it down? And then all the hands went down. So there's unbelievable opportunities in just taking, again, separating yourself from the tyranny of the urgent and really thinking about what is it that we're trying to accomplish. So again, this goes back to the getting clear and then being persistent about making things happen.
Perfect. Well, it's early in the year. It's 2018. We're all ready to, jumpstart it, get it going. And I'm so excited to have you meet with us at the luncheon and help us push that forward. So fair warning, everybody, this is going to be, hands-on. You're going to have some activities for us and participation. So glad we're giving them a heads up to be thinking about it. And I will see you very soon.
Thanks so much, Jeff. Thanks for having me. This was great. Looking forward to the event.
Thank you for joining me. I'll talk to you soon.
Very good. Take care.